Alright, just a quick video today, and this video is being made just so I can say Respawn gets on my nerves. Here I was making a video about all the things going on in Apex and how they can make this year better for the game, and then they released this trailer. Now, I still have some issues with the current direction Apex is going, and this trailer does more to support my issues than it does to get rid of them. But even the most critical of Apex players has to admit that this event on a conceptual level is awesome. Probably the coolest crossover we've ever gotten in this game. In the video I'm currently working on, I talked about how the game needs to implement more different ways to play the BR mode. And I still feel that way. I also still feel that they need to add more than just the Battle Royale as a way to enjoy Apex Legends. But I will admit that this event is cool. And maybe it's just the Final Fantasy VII nostalgia that's talking here, but combining with a well-known IP in order to give players a brand new experience in-game is exactly the kind of thing that I want to see more from Respawn. Recently, I've been playing a lot more Fortnite because it's a good way to spend time with my siblings. And ever since I started playing Fortnite, I've been amazed by the number of collaborations they have with other media. This isn't to say that I want Apex to move completely in this direction, but I do think that bringing in some outside influence is a great way to raise excitement among Apex players, and a good way to bring new players in. I mean, seriously, this trailer looks amazing. If I wasn't already playing Apex, but I loved Final Fantasy, I would want to check it out just so that I could experience this mode. Now, here's the problem that Apex Legends still has. When those new players that are here just because they saw Final Fantasy jump into the game, they're gonna run into two major problems, which is what I'm gonna cover in my next video. First of all, the Buster Sword is almost $300 to access it. Now, this is cool for us that are already playing the game because unlike most heirlooms, this is something that you can get for every single character. That's a big deal because when you're spending a lot of money like this, or when an event comes out with cool skins, you're almost de-incentivized from buying those skins because if you don't play the character that the heirloom is for, there's nothing to gain for you. So I do think the idea for a universal heirloom for an event like this is pretty cool. But the fact remains that not everybody can afford to spend $200 to $300 just to get an item in a game. Granted, permanently putting materia into the game is probably a bad idea for the competitive integrity of Apex Legends, but at this point I question whether or not that even really matters. Don't get me wrong, Apex is a competitive game at heart, but I think 5 years in, the more important element of the game is to keep people invested and engaged in playing. Which brings me to the second problem that these experimenting players are going to run into, and that is the difficulty of Apex Legends overall. Despite the fact that these new materia are going to add a fun element into the game and they'll completely change the way that you might engage in fights, it doesn't change the fact that a Predator player in this game will still demolish someone who is Platinum and below. So to ask new players to jump into a game where they only have one life, but then also expect them to deal with a matchmaking system that pairs them against players who have been playing for a long time feels a bit misguided to me. Again, I'm not going to get into the details of how to solve this problem because it's something that I talk about in my video that's going to be coming out next week, but I do think these are important elements of the game to talk about. I also think it's important to point out that this event, while it is cool, comes with no updates for any of the legends and no changes to any of the weapons. Granted, at this point, there's not too much that they could do to really shake up the meta by changing the weapons and legends. I think most of us are kind of solidified in what it is that we like to use, but the fact that we've now gone 2 events in a row with no changes to shake up the meta really just tells you where the focus of Respawn is right now. And maybe I shouldn't say Respawn, maybe I should blame EA, but at this point the companies are one and the same. It seems to me, with all of the recent events being collection events that prioritize the purchases we can make over the gameplay experience, that Respawn has moved to a place where the financial aspect of Apex Legends matters more to them than the gameplay. Trust me, I understand that making a statement like that in the face of this Final Fantasy event may feel a bit poorly timed, but we're coming off of a year where Respawn doubled the number of collection events compared to the highest number in Apex history. And while I am excited to see this Final Fantasy VII collab, that still rubs me the wrong way. And don't get me wrong, I'm probably going to buy at least one of these Final Fantasy VII skins. Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games of all time, and these skins are amazing. So if events in the future are gonna continue to have high quality skins like these, maybe I won't have so much of a problem. But last year we saw recolors and skins that in my opinion weren't very appealing, and we saw them over and over and over again to the point that I just stopped spending money on Apex. Because why would I spend money on this game if the money that I'm spending is just gonna go into them creating more cosmetics instead of them improving the actual game? Like I said though, I do have a full-length video coming about where I discuss some of these topics and how Apex Legends can improve its relevance for the foreseeable future, so I'm not going to get into it too much here. I just wanted to talk about the fact that this trailer came at the worst time possible for me, but also to say to Respawn, do more of this. This is really cool. I think this event is great, and I think if they do more collabs like this, it's going to be better for Apex overall. As much as we might want Apex to stay its own self-contained universe, it's hard to deny that collaborations like this do raise the popularity of games and can keep things alive for longer. And everybody complains until it's their favorite media being added to their favorite game. So instead of getting upset that this is Final Fantasy VII being added to the game, why not suggest to Respawn other companies that you'd want to see them collab with? Anyway, as usual, this is just my opinion. Feel free to leave your opinion in the comment section below. Also, keep an eye out for my next video where I talk about what Apex Legends needs to stay relevant for the year 2024. And last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.